Well, the day is upon us. Day 1 raid is finally here. In the next few hours, Day 1 raid will officially launch. And that being said, I'm Samarias, and you're probably asking me today, what build should I take in to the Day 1 raid? Let's go. Now, as you can see, I'm running a Starfire Protocol Warlock with a few things. But first off, let's go into the subclass itself. I'm running Empowering Rift. Every Empowering Rift I place will increase my weapon's damage. Not only that, since I'm running a Starfire Protocol build, it is essential to run Empowering Rift so you can spam fusion nades. I'm using Strafe Glide. You can use Burst or Strafe depending on your preference of playstyle. Melee abilities, you can run Celestial Fire, Incinerator Snap depending on your, Incinerator Snap's really good for close range, but you also have Celestial Fire for long range, so either melee is just fine. Now, Starfire Protocol, Fusion Nades, 100%, because you get an additional Solar Fusion Nade attached. Also, I'll have a few other builds as well you can run if you don't like the Starfire Protocol build. But let's keep going. Touch of Flame. Here's why I'm running Touch of Flame. Fusion Grenades, they explode twice. Not only that, if I were to swap to a healer build, Healing Grenades improves the strength of cure and restoration effects applied. And then Solar Grenade increases linger duration, periodically emits blobs of lava around its perimeter. Touch of Flame is really good if you are using the exotic gauntlets Sunbracers. Heat Rises. You can fire weapons, melee, and throw grenades while gliding. While being mid-air, final blows while airborne increase the duration of your heat rises and also grants melee energy. That's really good. Now, let's go into the fragments, shall we? I'm running Ember of Singeing. Your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets. The reason why this is because every solar weapon kill or whatever you do with your solar weapon to scorch targets, your ability is going to recharge faster. So that means I think it's either Empowering Rift or Grenades. I could be wrong on this. Don't quote me on it, but it's the reason why I'm running Ember of Singeing. Just so I can either get one of the abilities back. Next, I'm running Ember of Blistering. Defeating targets with solar ignitions grant grenade energy. This is because I'm running Starfire Protocol. Again, you can use the same build with Sunbracers. This works, which is very, very good. Next up, we have Ember of Wander. Rapidly defeating multiple targets with solar ignitions generate orbs of power. Also, you get a plus 10 resilience if you run this on your build. Now, there's other things you can experiment as well. If you feel like Ember of Wander's not feeling it and you want to get some restoration if you die a lot but you want to heal your teammates, run Ember of Mercy. When you revive an ally, you and other nearby allies gain restoration. Picking up a fire sprite grants restoration. Now, I'm probably going to swap between the two. Now, here's why. Because if one of my fire team members goes down, and if I need to revive them, pretty much me and that ally during the encounter will get restoration for a short duration. But if you're running Ember of Wander and you don't want to do the Solar Grenade Final Blows Kiryu, I recommend Resolve. Resolve, I would not pass this down. But if you do, the other thing you can combo with, Ember of Mercy. If you want to combo with Ember of Mercy, what you can do is probably run, this is a tough one, but I'd say you would want to run Ember of Solace. Now here's why. If you have Radiant applied or Restoration, the duration is increased. So, between these two fragments right here at the very end, I'm going to shuffle them between say, if I want to swap Ember of Wander to Ember of Mercy, I'll do that. And then, again, If I don't want Mercy, I can always go back to Wander, which is what I'm going to throw back on. Where are ya? There's a lot of fragments to read on here. Okay, there it is. And then, obviously, because you can switch between, I will switch between the two. It doesn't really matter. And then, of course, and again, if you don't like Ember Resolve, which I feel like nobody will not hate Ember Resolve because of Starfire Protocol builds or Sunbracer builds. But if you do hate it or don't like it, you can go to Ember Solace and go Ember Mercy. I'll swap between those four pretty much at the very end. These two, right here, Singeing and Blistering, very vital to a solar build. Now, let's go straight into the armor mods. Now, I'm running Artifice armor on all my pieces of gear. So, if you feel like there's something needs to be changed, or if you feel like there's something you don't want me to try out, feel free to leave it in the comments section down below. But let's go into the mod showcase. I'm running Resilience. Resilience did get a nerf, but still essential. Still really good to run for endgame content. I'm running Ashes to Assets. Gain bonus super energy on grenade kills. I'm running 2 of those. And then I also have a heavy ammo finder. Increases the drop chance of heavy ammo on kill. Now, you're probably thinking, Sam, why do you not go with triple Ashes to Assets? Well, I could go with that, but if it ends up, like, if I'm running double special, then I won't need to run heavy ammo finder, and I can always run Ashes to Assets, because double special gives you unlimited heavy drops, which is kind of insane at this point, which is why a lot of the popular people have been running it. Now, to our arms. Again, Resilience. Basically, I'm running all Resilience except probably, well, yeah, all Resilience. We're running Firepower. Your grenade final blow creates orbs of power. Oh yeah, there was one more fragment I wanted to show you as well. We'll get into that after this, after we're done showcasing arms. Bolstering detonation grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade. I'm running double these. So this is really good to get my Empowering Rift back. Now, I'll just do it for real quick, short, because I forgot about it, and I do apologize. You can run Ember of Searing. Ember of Searing is a really good one too. So, I do apologize. I almost forgot about that one. Now, let's go in the chest piece, Starfire Protocol itself. Now, I'm running double concussive dampener with Resilience, but here's the thing. Here's what you can do. Depending on what the enemies shoot, if you already have one concussive dampener, you can go to, like, whatever they're shooting. So you could go to Solar, Arc, Void, Stasis. They don't have one for Strand, which is kind of abnormal, but doesn't matter. Anyway, up next, we have the boots, my Warlock boots. We're running triple Stasis Weapon Surge. I'm going to get into a minute of that, so I can tell you why. But for now, this is what I'm running. If you feel like you want to change it out, say, okay, what if I want to give my kinetic weapons a boost? I'll run Kinetic Weapon Surge or any element of that kinetic weapon. Period. Now, the Bond, I am running I'm running double bombers with distribution. You can go triple bomber. It's personal preference, but I prefer having one distribution. My friends recommended it to me, so that's what I'm going with. So, now, you're probably thinking, what weapons do we want to use for this build? Let's get right into it. Witherhoard's really good. In case, you know, it's really good for grenade kills and just ad clear. But also a good way to, like, proc the Witherhoard shot, do a Callous Mini Tool, and then a rocket shot with demo on it if you're running Starfire Protocol build, or trying to run any builds that give you grenades back while damaging a boss. But yeah, let's go right else into detail here. What other weapons? Now, there's the downside to using Witherhoard. Only one person of your fire team can use Witherhoard. So, if someone on your fire team, if you're Starfire Protocol Warlock and someone else uses Witherhoard, then my advice to you is use Izanagi's Burden or use any crafted special weapon that you really desire. I'll probably use my Demo Choclip Deliverance because I'm running the Stasis Weapon Surge, so I'll probably take that in with me. And then, of course, you can run a Sniper if there's any long-range targets that are going to be very, very annoying. Also, I have Callus Mini Tool. This is a Solar SMG. This is, again, I'm shooting this each time to get my... So when I'm standing in an Empowering Rift, while shooting my Callus Mini Tool, we are going to get our Fusion Nade back. And that's going to allow us to Fusion Nade spam. However, if you're still trying to run the Solar Ignition part of it, and want to run double special, you can. You can use Explosive Personality, or any solar special weapon that you may have acquired. Royal Executioner is really good too. The Solar Dares of Eternity Trace Rifle is really good. You can use that. Yeah. And then now, heavy weapons. You may have not heard. A special man named Salta Greppo said that rockets. Go with rockets. And if he says differently, then ignore me and just follow what he has to say. But this is what we're going to go off from what he said to us now. We're using rockets. So, if a fire team member does not want to use Gjallarhorn, and I'm forced to use Gjallarhorn, I'll have Gjallarhorn with Callus Mini Tool in succession, or any weapon that'll give me that stasis boost. But, what if I want to give Gjallarhorn more damage? I'll swap over my stasis weapon surges to solar surges, because here's why. I don't know if you know this or not. So any element of these weapons right here, kinetic, arc, solar, stasis, strand, and void, if you're running any weapon, it's basically Phantom Might, but a little bit better before it got nerfed. So there's that in consideration. And of course, any of the heavy weapons are recommended. If you're wondering what weapons to use, I have Bump in the Night, Gjallarhorn. A Hothead's not bad, but again, you can use Hothead with Demo. Explosive Light's really good, if you have it, or Clown Cartridge. Leviathan's Breath really good if there's any unstopped champions. I'm bringing it just in case. It's not necessary. Linears are still really good. I recommend Taipan. Taipan's a really good linear to have. And now, let's go right into the other build that I recommend. So, let's say if we want to use our Sunbracers, I'd have to change the stats up a little bit. But for this build in particular, and wow, I don't even need the, well, I need a little bit of it, but anyway, let's continue. So, what do you want to know about this? I recommend just copy and paste what you have right now. Firepower, bolstering destination, just 2 of those, and you're just chilling. That's what I recommend. You probably could go Grenade Kickstart. It's not really recommended, but you could go bolstering detonation or firepower. And again, this build's really good. I'd say highly recommend taking the Sunbracers with you if you decide. Now, what if you want to use Strand for a Warlock? Oh, I've been wanting to dive into this one for a while. Let's go right into it. Now, I'm using the Swarmers. The reason that is because destroying a Tangle spawns a Fredling. Your Fredlings unravel targets that they damage. There are other good builds too, but also we're going to go into the reason why we're using Strand with this build. Also, definitely bring Poison Weapon. I'm bringing Osteo Striga. And again, special weapon. It's your own personal preference, but if you're going for more of like a, you're trying to get Woven Mail to proc on like any character, Bring a repulsor brace weapon for more defense. This will be more my add clear defensive build. And you're probably thinking, Samurai, why are you not running 100 discipline? Well, the reason that is, I don't need it. Here's why. We're going to get to that in a second. Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy. Here's why. There's also good reasons why you should run this fragment. Because you're dealing damage, right? That's like very, very easy to proc. And then, if you just keep shooting, keep damaging the enemy, and having the right mods equipped, you are going to probably shackle. You're going to keep throwing shackles left and right, left and right, left and right. And it's just insane. Shackle Grenade is just really good. That's why I recommend Thread of Generation. Now, I don't know any other good fragments for this build. I kind of haven't really tested Strand, but you could do Thread of Finality, which is finish your final blows, create threadlings. This is pretty good. I'd recommend it. Super Final Blows, emit a suspending burst from the target. I'm running that because of the extra resilience. Again, this is personal preference. Defeating suspended targets with Precision Final Blow creates an orb power. This is one way to get your mods procced, so you're trying to get your weapon surges and all that. This is really good. Thread of Wisdom. So, if you want to keep the other three, you can. So if you want to swap out Thread of Binding, the other one I'd recommend would be... I would say... Thread of Mind. Defeating suspended targets grant class ability energy. This is what I'd recommend for Strand. And then, again, run mods that would give you your grenade energy back. And basically, whatever procs Threadlings. So there's that build. That's basically the Warlock for you. Right there. Oh! I would recommend this build, but this build's not going to be a day one build. So I do apologize about this other one. So, unfortunately, that one will have to be put on hold for now. For day one. A different time. But, let's go to another character. Oh, man. Alright. We're on the Strand Titan, everyone. I have never thought I'd be doing a build besides my Warlock, because my Warlock's my main character, so we'll be playing my Warlock tomorrow at reset. So, this is a very tough one, but we're going to just go right with the flow and just tell you what we're going to go with. So, this is what I have. You can use Grapple Hook for Titans if you're really aggressive, but I wouldn't recommend going aggressive on day one. So, I would recommend, say, since I'm running the Puppeteer's Control, Drengear's Lash spawns 2 additional projectiles, tracks targets more aggressively, travels farther, Game Woven Mail when suspending targets. So I would get something that would suspend targets. So I would say Shackle. You want Shackle Grenade. And then, again, these are the only 2 fragments you can get. I'm running Thread of Mind. Really good. Running Thread of Finality. Creates Threadlings. Damaging targets with a Tangle. Grants melee energy. Really good if I'm trying to do like a Titan slasher build for melee. For the arm movement. Also, I'm using Thread of Wisdom. Defeating suspended targets with Precision Final Blows. Creates an overpower. You can replicate the same build from my Warlock if you wish. If you desire. But it's a little bit different on my Strand Titan. So, and the exotic he'd be using for Strand is Osteostriga. Or, if for example, say, my Titan doesn't want to run Osteostriga, I could also go probably any of the other following weapons of choosing, like Wither Horde, stuff like that. It'll pair really well with your build. But, let's go right into the helmet. I'm running more Discipline to get my Shackle Grenade back. I'm running Ashes to Assets. So every time I'm using a grenade kill, I am getting bonus super energy. I'm also running Heavy Ammo Finders. This isn't recommended, but if you want, you can. But if you were to swap these out, I'd recommend probably Ashes to Assets again, and then probably I'd probably run hands-on. Let me swap that out right now. Hands-on, and then I run another Ashes to Assets. So there's that. Boom. Now, let's go to the arms. This is mainly for grenades. I'm running Firepower, Boltering Detonation, and I'm running Grenade Kickstart. Now, you're probably thinking, why are you using Grenade Kickstart? When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. So, if I get an Orb of Power, I'm getting an Armor Charge, which means I'll get Grenade Kickstart, which means I'll get my Shackle Nade back. And with that fragment that I mentioned earlier, which I might actually throw it on for the sake of this, which, yeah, actually I will. I might. What the heck? I will, actually. It's not a big deal. Oh, I am running Thread of Generation. Well, wait. Oh, no, my Titan needs to unlock it. Okay. Well, then that's what I recommend, Thread of Generation. Now, let's go to my chest piece. Again, this is all personal preference. I'm running Emergency Reinforcement. This could be pretty good if I'm in close quarter combat situations with my Titan. And if I get Orbs of Power, I'll get my Armor Charge. And I'll grant a longer duration to the damage if it says consuming 3 or more stacks of Armor Charge, granting a longer duration to the damage reduction for each charge consumed. Then I have a Concussive Dampener, and then a Harmonic Resistance. Harmonic Resistance is basically... doesn't really say. It's kind of bugged, which is weird. It used to say... I don't know what it said before, but... I mean, whatever. It's up to you, but you can run unflinching stuff if you want, depending on what element you're running for a weapon. Okay, let's go into the boots. I'm running Innervation, reduces grenade cooldown each time you pick up an Orb of Power. This is personal preference. You could swap Arc Weapon Surge if you're trying to get a boost to weapon damage on your main weapons from picking up an Orb of Power while getting an Armor Charge. And I'm running Better Already. Your health begins to regenerate immediately after picking up an Orb of Power. This is pretty good too. So if I were to change Arc Weapon Surge, it'd still try to get melee back. I could either go Recuperation. That's not for melee, but I get more health. Better Already is not bad either, which I mentioned earlier. And again, I could probably go like Absolution, which I'll probably go Absolution. And then, since my Titan would use Ostea Striga, I would use a Strand Surge, so I'd have to go back to this. Alright, and then the Titan Mark. I'm running triple Utility Kickstart. This is not recommended. I recommend like one Bomber. And then another one, I'm going to go Outreach. There's your Titan build. Now, the final character. Let's go to our Hunter. Alrighty. We have the final character of the night. My Hunter build. This is strictly for Invis. Now we're going to go into details what builds I'm running. I'm running Gambler's Dodge. Dodge to perform a deft tumble, avoiding enemy attacks, dodging near enemies, fully recharges your melee ability. This is really good because if you're running Omninoculus, you're going to get your Smoke Bomb back for invising a lot faster. Triple Jump, personal preference on Hunter jumps. I'm running Snare Bomb. It's basically just the static bomb that you get. And I'm running Vortex. Vortex is pretty good. If you want to suppress enemies, you can run Suppressor Nade. It's, again, grenades are personal preference, based on your playstyle. I'm running Vanishing Step. Every dodge I do will make me invisible. This is really good for hunters. Also, if you want, you can run Vanishing Step for an alternate hunter build if you're using a... I think it's, 6 Coyote. If you're running the 6 Coyote exotic, you'll get double dodging invis, which is really, really good. And you can make it one invis nade, which is pretty sweet. And still, Gambler's Dodge would still work with that. So, I recommend Hunter's Invis if you're more of the trying to survive as a hunter. And I know hunters can be very fragile in battle. I'm running Trapper's Ambush. Activate Quick Fall to spend your melee charge to dive into the ground, creating a large smoke cloud on impact, which then dissipates targets caught in the cloud or weakened, and allies remain invisible. So again, and while I'm running Omninoculus, I'm getting Increase Resist, which is really, really good. Now again, we're going to go more in the fragments. I'm running Echo of Obscurity. Finish your final blows, grant invisibility, plus 10 recovery. I'm running Echo of Leeching. Melee final blows, start health regen for you and nearby allies. This is really good if you're grouped up with a team. And I'm running Echo of Starvation. Picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power grants Devour. So, if you pick up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power, you're going to get Devour. And Devour is going to give you pretty much health back for every melee kill that you get, which is really, really good. And not only that, every Devour kill you get, it's going to keep the Devourer going. So, Echo Starvation is definitely recommended for this build. Now, again, the mods, I kind of change them as I go, but it doesn't really matter. So, since we're trying to get melee, I'd say, again, this one's all personal preference, really. I mean, as a hunter, I'm running double heavy scout, or one heavy scout and double heavy ammo scout, and then I have one heavy ammo finder. I probably could change this to the point where, okay, I'm using void weapons. I'm probably going to go Void Siphon just for the heck of it, or I could go probably Harmonic Siphon, which is not bad either. I could run that if I wanted to. Or Kinetic Siphon, depending on the weapon you're using. Now, on the arms, this is mainly for my melee. Causing damage with a grenade causes your melee cooldown. This is to get my Invis-Nade back faster. Heavy-handed, your power melee final blows create orbs of power. Now, I'm thinking I'm going to swap this one out because no way it's just that useful. But it does create orbs of power. So, you can keep it on if you wish. I would say another momentum transfer. I'm running triple momentum transfer to get invis, to keep invising people for a split second. Shield break charge is not bad either. Again, most of the builds or mods I'm kind of just showcasing our personal preference. In case you want to try them, you can. Omninoculus. Any chest piece build I'm running, again, it's all personal preference. And also, I'm running double concussive dampener for hunters. But again, this may vary because depending on the enemies that you fight, could have a certain element like arc, solar, void, and stasis. That's the reason why I'd swap this one out for any of the following elements. But keep one concussive dampener on. It is very, very helpful. Now, the boots. I am running triple invigoration. Reduces melee cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. The reason why I'm running this is because that way I can get my smoke bombs back so I can keep invising people. And if I'm doing an encounter and I say I'm in a panic or I'm in a pickle, this is a good reason why I'm running invigoration. Just so I can keep spamming my Invis-Nades. Now, the final piece of armor. The cloak. I'm running Outreach, reduces melee cooldown when using your class ability. I'm running 1-2 Finisher. Finishers restore melee abilities. This is really, really good if you are a smoke bomb builder or any character that uses melee. I probably could have put this on my Titan for Strand. Or any other builds that I have in mind. But the reason why I didn't cover the other builds is because, again, all builds that you use with any element and certain exotic, and with the right mods, you'll do just fine. But the one I'd avoid is Arc. Do not touch Arc unless you're a Titan. That's what I would worry about. If you're an Arc Titan with Thunder Crash, then make a build. But if it's a Warlock and a Hunter, strictly use those for ad clear. That's it. Not boss damage. Unless you're thinking about the hunter throwing spear, staff, whatever for arc. You could do that, but again, you'd have to probably use Star Eater scales for that one. But there's other better subclasses out there for that anyway. And the last one, distribution. There's that. So, basically, then my hunter, he would use, for his exotic, he'd be using Wish Ender. And then for his blinding GL, he'd be using a Void GL with Swashbuckler and auto-loading with blinding, which is now called Disorienting Nades. And then the heavy weapon I'd be using is a Void Linear or Void Machine Gun for ad clear. Anything that is Void. So, now you guys got a kind of an insight what I'm bringing in tomorrow's raid. If you have any changes or any ideas that you want me to try during my stream tomorrow, I am going live tomorrow at 11 a.m. CST time. Make sure to have notifications on for Twitch and YouTube. I will have my Twitch in the description as well, if you want to see that as well. Watch the whole day one experience, kind of figure out mechanics as you follow along. Also, don't forget to watch 2 hours of the Twitch Rivals on Twitch as well to get yourselves Prime Rewards emblems, which is really, really good. They look really, really snazzy. And there you guys have it. That's basically your builds for day one. Again, I'm super excited for this raid, the Root of Nightmares, and this is Samurais. I'll see you guys all tomorrow on my live stream. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.